are. It's a big deal. It's a big day today. Our first ever Friday planning party. Had to bring the pom-pom. Had to wear a party dress. Had to wear my Friday earrings. Welcome, 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 longtime friends. Welcome, new friends. Welcome, podcast listeners. Welcome, friends of friends. I'm Callie. I am your Friday planning party host, and I'm so glad you're here. You know, it means that you're ready to stop all the swirl and start your week with clarity, and really your weekend with clarity too. Today is for everyone. Let me see who I got here. Where are my planners? Got some planners in the house? How about some non-planners? You're like, I don't know why I'm even here. How about my detailed friends? Like, that is me. How about my go with the flow? You know, whatever happens, happens. Do I have any entrepreneurs in the house? Do I have any C-suite gals? Do I have anybody here who is ready to learn about how to turn Friday planning into a party? Now, I want to know, how has your week been? Drop an emoji in the chat. How's your week been? All right, let me know. Has it been calm or chaotic? Has it been crazy town? Has it kicked booty? Has it been great? All right, let me know how it's been. Then I want you to drop a second emoji with how do you want your next weekend and week to feel after today. Let's see if they match up, or if maybe there's a little bit of work to do. Let me know what that's looking like. Oh my goodness. Welcome everybody to the Friday planning party. As I mentioned, I'm Callie, and I am going to have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions, it is fast and furious, and it's just me over here. If you have any questions, let's save them to the end, and I will stay on as long as I need to and answer all your questions. We only have 30 minutes together today. Sadness. So let me go ahead and get one thing out of the way at the beginning. It's a little bit of the elephant in the room. Here's the deal. You are going to want more of me and of the content, and I'm going to want more of you at the end. So I will be sharing my brand new perfectish method time management course. So I'm just letting you know, you can sign up for that today. Of course, there's a deal. Of course, there's bonuses, but I just want you to know that up front. So there's no surprises at the end. So stay tuned for that. There'll be a little bit more on that. All right. How did the brain drain even start? Is anyone curious? Anybody curious how the brain drain started? So it was a day much like today, only I had a 2 and 3-year-old at the time. So it actually wasn't like today at all with a 16 and 14-year-old. But it was one of those days where by lunchtime, I don't even know what I got done. I call that spinning my wheels. My mom calls that spinning my wheels. And not only that, but it was a day where I was feeling like I just need these kids to take the long nap. You know what I'm talking about? The long one. And I thought, all right, I haven't accomplished anything today. It's one of those things I just moved stuff from room to room and really didn't find any satisfaction in checking anything off a list. I don't know if anybody's felt like that. That was me. But I was banking on this long nap. I thought, all right, there's one thing I can do. We have this ratty mattress and it was at the top floor. I can at least take it down to the garage so I'll feel like I did something today. And just as I dragged it to the top of the stairs, I heard it. I heard 4 little footsteps running my way, which meant they were awake. So yeah, that was not going to happen. And all I had time for was to at least slide it down the first set of stairs. So it's standing there and I'm just feeling some kind of way. I'm feeling honest. If I'm being honest, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling like I'm not good at anything. I'm not good at my job. I'm not good as a wife. I'm not good as the mom. I mean, we just pile it on ourselves. And it was just more and more and more. And all I knew was to at least get down the stairs, and I'm sitting at the landing and I'm waiting for the kids to come. Well, you know what? Let me just show you. Let me just show you what happened. This was the day that the brain drain was born. Okay.
Okay. Big jumps.
Go. I did it. Wow.
Okay. I mean, that's pretty cute, right? It's pretty cute. And it was adorable. And after about 9,347 times of doing that, they were still going strong. But do you want to know what was happening to me on the other side of the camera? I was sitting on the landing, staring into oblivion. Again, still feeling like I couldn't handle anything in life. And don't judge me. I don't know what time of day it was, but I did go grab a glass of wine I didn't drink it. I just sat there with it, just holding it. And my kids were having fun and I was not having fun. I was not having fun because I had no control over what I was accomplishing. I felt like I was always behind. And a couple hours later, maybe I'm still sitting there with the glass of wine in my hand and I hear the door and my husband walks in. And it was one of those things when he looked at me, kind of like, should I say anything? And I was like, no. But you can start dinner because oops, we got to feed the kids too. And it was in that moment that I thought something has to change. And I went from I can't do it to can I do it to how can I do it? And that was when the brain drain was born that day. Now, it wasn't anything fancy because frankly, I did not need another scheduler or a planner or a calendar or anything. I needed a scrap of piece of paper and I needed to start to get everything out of my head and onto paper so that I could have a realistic view of what I needed to accomplish. That is where it started. Now, the only problem is a decade later, I was still doing the brain drain like I'd always done it, which was on Sunday night. Now, did I love it? No. Was it helping? Yes. By the way, I did change it. A lot of people call it a brain dump, and that is not classy. And I like alliteration and rhyming, so I named it on my little scrap of paper, the brain drain. It became a practical tool for me and a system that worked week in and week out. It was super, super simple. And I started to teach people about it. I didn't have fancy printables, but the problem was I was doing it on Sunday. And that's what every coach will ever teach you, that it's time to do it on Sunday night. And that's what I always taught people too, until one day. I was working with a client and I was telling her, this is what we're going to do. And she just looked at me and she goes, I don't like planning on Sundays. And I looked back at her and I said, I don't like planning on Sundays either. Like, is it possible to change? And I said, when do you like planning? And she goes, I think I would prefer planning on Fridays. I'm just in a better mood. And I think it would just help me a lot. And I thought, I think I want to start planning on Fridays too. You guys, that was just about a year ago. So keep in mind how many years I did it on Sunday nights. Where are my Sunday night planners? All right, no more Sunday night planning because we don't always have to do what we've always done, especially if it's time for something new and if it doesn't serve us. So let's go through the reasons that we're going to switch it to Friday, hence the Friday planning party. I want it to always feel like a party for you. Here's some of the things. It closes out your current week. Now, what that means is you've got peace and you've got preparation going into your new week. It is a physical symbol to me, just like I'm going to unplug my router right after this is over to indicate to myself my work week is over. And it can be that for you too, especially if you have a hard time shutting down or having boundaries. So it's just this visual for you. My week is shut down. Second, it uses more positive energy. You're such in a better mood. How many of us on Friday than maybe on Sunday night or Monday morning? And it takes away the urgency of it. It gives you this peace, like I can do this. Next, it prevents Sunday anxiety. Okay, no more Sunday scaries because we're dreading the Monday blues. So Sunday night, we're thinking about Monday. Sunday afternoon, we're thinking about Sunday night. Sunday morning, we're thinking about Sunday afternoon, which makes us think about Sunday night, which makes us think about Monday. Saturday night, we start to feel, knowing that Sunday is coming, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so we're going to negate that. We're going to take that off the schedule. And lastly, it's going to prep you mentally before the weekend. How would that feel that going into the weekend, done and done? The whole idea of what I want to share with you in the next few minutes is why we do this. There is purpose in this planning. It's not to give you more to have to do. How many of us need more to do? Not me, not you. What we're creating is instead of adding things and adding something else, it's allowing us to be more available to the people and the things that matter most to us. So we don't have to be type A to do this. We want to be type available. Now, let's take a deep breath together. Okay, I am here to help. Here is why I'm here to help. Because we have to get those thoughts out of our head like I was sitting on the landing doing, because I had everything in the world and we got to get it written down, whether it's on a piece of paper or on a tablet. Check this out. The average person has over 6,000 thoughts a day. Women, I think we are above average. I knew all those thoughts were swirling on the landing in my head. Well, writing that down can decrease the stress, get this, by 73%, and you don't need the glass of wine. Next reason for this is you can't organize what you haven't acknowledged. After all, it's not organized in your mind anyways, and everything feels huge. Everything feels urgent. Everything feels like I have to do it now or else. Next is it's shareable. What that means is your household or your team, they're not working off of your internal chaos or their internal chaos, or you're not assuming that you know what other people have going on, or no one has to read your minds, you're welcome, husband, or guess what is on their list, right? Teenagers. And then lastly, if it only lives in your brain, it owns you. It owns your peace. If it's on paper, you have space for it to be released. And now, once it's released, you can do something with it. Now, I do want to pause and say it is okay if it gets worse before it gets better. Kind of like cleaning a closet. You know, you get motivated and you get everything out of the closet. Now, first you have to have a fashion show. This, and then you have to get sentimental about something, and then before long you look around the room and it is a disaster and you think, why did I do this? This was a horrible idea. Who talked me into this? I did. But then you start piece by piece by piece, and then it makes sense. So I want you to know there's been many a brain drain, especially Sundays, but even now on Fridays, where as I get it out, I feel worse, but then I feel better, and the better is coming. Are you ready? I am ready. Now, I want to see if you have your tools here today. If you do not have your brain drain resource, I want you to go ahead and you can scan the screen right now. You can grab that or check out the chat. I just put the link in there again. If you don't have it printed out yet while we're doing this in real time, that's totally fine. Nothing to worry about. You can do this later. But I am going to walk you through this now. Now, you can print them out. Like I have mine printed out, ready to go right after this. Or you can download them and put them on your tablet. That way you can use your stylus or your Apple Pen, and you can actually just write on your brain drain sheets. Either one is fine. Some people print, some people bind, some people laminate some of them and put them on the fridge, and some people use them digitally. Last thing I want to share is you don't have to use all of the sheets. Just use the ones that work for you. Okay, I don't even use all the sheets, and I created them. Some weeks I need some of them more than others. So put in the chat, how are you going to use your brain drain? Are you printing them out or are you using them digitally? All right, let's get into how to use the brain drain. There's two different ways to use these first sheets, kind of like Burger King your way. Option one is the 4-quadrant sheet. This is better for those of you that have lighter weeks, or maybe when you just need a little reset. I kind of think of it like the Post-it note version of this process, or if you have really small handwriting. Either way is great. You don't even have to use all of the sections, but pick the sections that serve you the best this week. As I go through them, if you want to start to go ahead and fill them out, you don't have to wait. You can start now. All right, so what are the different sections? The first section is the personal. So what's coming up at home this week? What do I need to do that has to do with my home or my personal? The second is professional. Whether this is a side hustle or career or full-time, or you're in your and era like me, what is a priority or what needs my attention in my work? What needs attention in my work? You can start to fill these out, like make it messy, start it messy. The third is, man, I mean, when I was single, I could eat a bowl of cereal or a can of corn at night. These kids want meals and snacks all day long, and summer's coming, which means there's going to be a lot that's going on. So I need to not be taken by surprise that people in my family want to eat every day. And then last, this is going to be good. Just hang on to this one for a second. What am I doing this week that someone else could do? All right, so this is the Post-it note version, the quadrant version. So we'll just call it Post-it. If you're going to use the Post-it version today, go ahead and put that in the chat. Okay, if you're like, ain't no way, girl. I write too big for that. I have a Pinterest board exploding in my head. I need space to breathe. I need to sort it out. Like, I need the real deal. I've got expanded pages for you. And these are the one-pagers. Same thing. You don't need both. Same thing, but if you got a lot going on. All right, the expanded one page, same thing. Again, reminder, you can start to do these now. personal. This might be dentist appointments or gifts to buy or summer camp registration. So all the things that have to do with your personal life, go ahead and drain them out. Next, we've got our professional. Same thing. This might be for your lead generation, your follow-ups, your content creation, all the things that, and you can look at your calendar to help decide this as well. What are the things that need to get done? You don't have to do them in order of importance. You just want to get them out. All right, next, meals. Now, I look at my calendar for this because I like to know when is the night when we're going to do Annie's mac and cheese. When is the night that or the day that I might have time to throw something in the crock pot? When is the time that I'm going to have leftovers? And then when are the nights that maybe we're going to go out, whether it's date night or what that looks like. So the meals need to go on here, and it's totally up to you if you just meal plan evening time, your dinner, or if you want to plan everything, breakfast, lunches, dinners. So this is going to be helpful too. And now that I have older kids, I incorporate them in this. What are we going to want to eat? But then I decide which night it's going to go. Lastly, this is super important. This is the delegation piece. Now, you can do one of two things. You can delegate ahead of time. You can say, okay, I know for sure these are the things that I'm going to assign to someone else. Or what I like to do is I like to wait after I've done the first two sections. Then I look at those and say, was there anything I could take off my sheet and put on somebody else's, whether it's paid help or whether it is volunteer or voluntold help. Like, oh, you know what? My husband on his way home can go ahead and pick this up instead of my going into town, like we like to say where I live. So what can be delegated? And if you're finding that you're really having trouble with this, I'm going to tell you, I've got the tools for you in my method that's really going to help you decide what needs to be delegated and what can only I do. All right, so these are your one-pagers. So put in the chat, are you a Post-it note girl or a one-pager girl or guy? Shout out to the guys, probably my husband and Noah out there. Shout out to you guys. So am I a Post-it or a one-pager? Now, if you're having trouble getting things out, like I don't even know what to put on my list, I do want you to know that I do have a bonus that I'm going to be talking about in a few minutes that will tell you and help you and guide you even how to get this out of your head. For some of you, this is easy. For some of you, this is a little bit more challenging. Now, I want to give you a few minutes to actually do the thing. I said we're going to do it live, and we are. I'm going to turn on some music, and we're going to go ahead and start planning now. So I'll give you a few minutes here to go ahead and get some of this down on paper. Don't you love it? Real-time planning on a Friday. So let me turn the music on. I'll stop talking. Here are a few prompts that you can have. And if you want to, sometimes next to each one, I'll start to put the day that I think I want to assign it to. So I'll say, you know what? I think this would be good on Tuesday. I think I can handle this on such and such date. All right, let's turn on a little bit of music. I'm going to take a deep breath. I've been talking like I'm super excited because I am. I'm going to grab a sip of water. I'm going to start working on mine too. Here we go. Okay, how'd you do? You know, it's amazing how much we can get done when we're focused on it and when we have a time limit. I gave you a couple minutes just to get it started and get it out of your head. And remember, at this point, if you have any questions, I'm going to stick around for the Q&A at the end. And if you're watching on demand and the replay, you can press pause and take as much time as you like. Because I know some weeks you got more to drain out than others. All right, let's keep going just for the sake of time. What do I do after I have everything on my brain drain and it's all out there? Now I'm going to plug it into my weekly plan sheet. I'm going to show you a blank one, and then I'm going to show you one that I filled out. Let's talk about the weekly plan. All right. For some of you, this is old school is the new cool. Are you ready? So the weekly plan sheet, first what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my non-negotiables or my repeat activities. I like to think of it like the big rocks first. So the things that I know for sure, I go ahead and block those in. Maybe it's what I do. It's a rhythm. It's part of my week every single week, or at least for this week for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and put those in first. Then after that, what I like to do is I like to start to add in the other things from my brain drain. Now, I want to have you beware of being too general. That's an issue that I see quite a bit. And by that, what I mean is you put a block and you just write errands. Okay, but which errands? When? What does that look like? So I want you to be a little bit more specific. I think that is really going to help you. That's one of my tips for my weekly plan. Also, I want to give you the encouragement. Oh, and by the way, if messing this up makes you feel kind of like, you can start in pencil. All right. So I give you permission to start in pencil so you can erase, especially as you get used to using it. But I want you to think about time blocking things. I want you to think about color coding things. And I want you to think about habit stacking. So with those errands, which errands together make sense, right? You don't want to be going out and then coming back and then going out, especially again, where I live, going into town, crossing the bridge or two bridges. I want to make sure that I am efficient with my time. I like to call that while I'm here. So I'll look over that one more time and say, while I'm here, is there anything else? Could I grab that birthday gift? Could I go ahead and swing by and get my oil changed? That's what I gotta do. What am I gonna, and then when I'm getting my oil changed, what can I be doing while I'm there? While I'm here, what can I be doing? Also, of course, make sure that you map in your Friday planning, literally write Friday planning party when you wanna do that. And let me give you a visual here, so you can see what this looks like, because we don't plan to be just busy. We plan to be intentional. I'm going to hold mine up. Now, I know it looks like, oh my word, girl has so much going on. But what you may not realize is I block and protect in my time that is either overflow time or my white space or my personal time. I block that in. And you know why I block it in? Think of myself as the quarterback, right? I need my offensive line right there to block for me. I need a linebacker or whatever they are. I need to block, or else somebody else is going to fill it. So it's not full of busy time. I have an hour and a half for working out and my walk. This particular week, I had nothing going on Saturday. Yeah, that's an enigma. I should not have probably pulled this one for you. But I make sure that I have blocked out so that no one else can have that time. Otherwise, they're going to see this as time that they can have. Now, I want to say one last thing about this, and we're going to work with this in my workshop. So I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but one more thing I want to say about this. One of the things that I teach is after I've done this, at the end of the day, if you didn't know me and you looked at my week, what kind of girl would you say I am? What would you say is important to me? What are my priorities? And if you were to tell me that and it does not align, something's got to give. So I just want to say that too, that this is a tool to also say, am I aligned? Like, not just am I busy or efficient or productive, but am I aligned with the things that I say I'm aligned? It's kind of like having somebody look at your checkbook, right? I heard that years ago in youth group. We don't have checkbooks anymore, most of us. So does this reflect who I want to be? If you want to know more about that, stick with me. All right, last thing that I want to show you and I want to bring up are the daily plan sheets. All right, oops, these are a little bit different. So the daily plan sheets, these are for my detail girls. So when you look at the weekly plan, same thing. If you're like, my handwriting is way too big for that, let me pull a weekly one for you. Oh yeah, here it is. I want you to know that this is if you're in a really full season or you really want to track your productivity. You can plan these ahead of time when you do your Friday planning. and fill out as much as you can and then make micro adjustments each day. Or you can wait to the night before and the end of each day and prep one for the next day. This will just give you some clarity. These are tools that I use with my clients when I have them do a time mirror exercise or a reverse planning session or a time audit. It's also covered in stage 1 of the course, which I promise I will talk about soon. So use these however is best for your brain and your rhythm. And remember, the Q&A is coming up. And remember, you don't have to use all the tools, just the ones that serve you most right now. All right. I want to give you a little preview in case you're thinking, yeah, I do want more. I need more. Maybe I'm realizing I need a lot more than I thought, or maybe I just need a few little minor adjustments. What does that look like? I want to tell you just a little bit more about what you could tap into if this feels like just the beginning. All right. So I mentioned the perfectish method. Here are some of the things that I want to continue teaching. Let me also pause and say I have a podcast. It is called Perfectish. So if you want more of me in that way, every Tuesday, a new episode drops. A lot of the things that maybe you've heard me say today, I teach on the podcast totally for free. But let me talk about the method. The first method is we work a lot extensively with this, especially that question, what does my calendar say about me? And if I don't like it, how can I change it? The second thing that we talk about is establishing routines, the bookends of the day, the morning and the evening. There's a messy middle, let's be clear. But if we can maintain a little bit of a good rhythm in the morning and the evening, it is amazing. And by the way, we have to start with the evening one. I know, even though it looks like it should be the opposite. The next couple are relationships first. Now, sometimes the things on these lists we do because we feel obligated, because we think that it's helping someone that we love. But we have to establish what we call the expectation conversation to see, do I really need it on my weekly plan or not? The F is focused like a CEO. This is where we learn how to delegate. This is what we learn, that the more we tolerate, the less we make. The less we tolerate, the more we make. So we learn how to do that in something I call the 4 Ds, and delegation is a huge one. E is establish boundaries. Remember how I said I unplugged my router? Remember how I said on here, I have a lot of time that I have made sure that is for me? I have a Friday overflow. After 12 o'clock on Friday, I don't schedule anything, so that if there was something that didn't get done in my week, it gets to overflow in there. And if there's nothing there, I get to go on my porch and read my Kindle. Which, speaking of, this is where I do my brain drain, on my porch with a poppy, or some kind of fun little drink in a clear glass with a straw. I do make it a party every time. All right. So if you want to keep going, let's see. We can customize our schedule based on your personality, introvert, extrovert, you name it. Customize your schedule based on that. And lastly, we talk about community and accountability and how we can keep this going as well. So I want you to know that this is coming up if this is something that you're interested in. All right. Do you want to hear a little bit about what this is, this method? And of course, stick around for the Q&A. Here we go. I'm so excited to tell you. It's going to be 7 live trainings. I call them stages. 7 live trainings with question and answer every other week. This is the only time I will ever do it like this, live with the Q&A. I want you to consider being the first eyes. You're my beta testers, the first eyes on it. You're my VIPs. You can give me feedback and testimonials. Plus, with the Perfectish method, we're going to have a private Facebook community, access to me, lifetime access to the on-demand replays, bonus content, and of course, as I mentioned, you get to be the beta tester round. So it'll be perfect-ish. That's where the ish comes through. We're going to go through all the stages together, and it's not just the information. The information you can probably find anywhere. It's the application and the implementation. It's step-by-step to really decide what you want your life and schedule to look like. You can also self-pace it. If you want to self-pace it, that's great too. And so I want you to know a little bit more about it. Are you ready? All right, here's where you get to make your decision today. All right, let's talk about it. And what this is going to look like is, all right, let's break it down for you. So the value of this course, as you can see on the screen, is $19.88. I want this to be accessible. I want you to consider, you know what? I do want more time with Callie. And by the way, I want more time with you. I feel like this was an appetizer. This was a amuse-bouche. We're feeling fancy. So let me break it down. I want a special first look rate for $347 because I want this for as many women that want it. Now, if that sounds like a lot to you, I did a little thinking here. Because you get 7 courses and it's over the next 3 months. Let's break it down. It would be the equivalent of 7 trips to Chick-fil-A. Before. It would be the equivalent of 1 summer camp. It would be the equivalent of maybe, I don't know, a round or 2 of golf, or a grocery run when you're thinking, I have no groceries. I have nothing in my house, nothing to eat. But the reality is, you know what? They could eat ramen, or we could probably figure out something from the pantry so that you could substitute and do this. Maybe a few tanks of gas, and it's not even for vacation. It's just tooling around town, and it is less than a one-on-one session. So for those of you that are like, I think I'm ready for more, I'm just getting started and I need a little bit more, I want you to know that this could be for you. I have some awesome promos for you and bonuses for you, and they are the month at a glance, hallelujah, and all of my perfectish prompts that you can use AI for. So if you want more than just a tool and you want a template and a system that works for you, I want you to know that. I do have a little disclaimer. This course is not designed for the Mary Kay Salesforce. It's designed for anybody. And so that's just the little disclaimer on here as well. So if you're not 100% sure and you're like, I don't know, could I just sort of check it out? Yes, you could just do stage 1. If you're like, I just want to do stage 1 just for 67, you can absolutely do that. If you decide you want to upgrade after that, that will roll into your total package price. So what you can do now is, if you're ready, if you're like, I am ready to go. And by the way, if you have questions about anything, that is what I'm here for. So I want you to go ahead and let me know you're ready. I'm going to go ahead and you can see the QR code. I'm going to also go ahead and put this in the chat for you so that you can click on this, check it out, make your decision if you want to. I love that. There is stage 1 option. Yes, please. So you will also get this in your email. If you want to scan the code, get your bonuses, and then I'm going to stick around for questions if you have that. You could DM me if you want to know more as well. So the link is in the chat. The link will be in your email, and you can scan it to sign up. I'm going to leave it here for just another second. All right. I want to know, what was your biggest takeaway? What was your biggest takeaway from today? I would love to know that. I might get a little emotional. Okay, I promised myself I wasn't. I have prayed so much that God would use just these little things. And I even thought last night, I even ran my whole thing through ChatGPT because I was like, I just don't know if this is good enough. Am I giving them enough? I hope and pray that something today gave you encouragement, a new thought, a little tweak, a little system that you thought, I don't have to sit on the landing of the stairs staring into oblivion, wishing my life away, or thinking things were different, or thinking I'm not the kind of girl that can figure this out. You can, because it's not a, I don't know if I can or can I, it's a how can I. So I'd love to know, it would give me so much encouragement to let me know that something today stood out for you. And I just want to say, what if today is the day that you realize that just as you are with your personality and your circumstances, you can't control everything. I wish we could, but we can't. But you do have a say in who gets your precious time and energy. You don't have to let things slip. You can enjoy life that goes by so quickly. So let this be the moment that you stop trying to carry it all and started a clear way forward. Clarity is not just a productivity tool. It's kindness to yourself. And peace is not found in a perfectly balanced week. It's found in surrender and strategy and small sacred steps. Isaiah 26:3 says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. And part of that trust is taking what's in your mind, your mess, your mission even, and putting it down on paper or a tablet. You don't have to hold it all. You're not supposed to. You were never meant to white knuckle your way through the week or sit on the stairs staring into oblivion while your children slide it down for 1,000 more times. You were created to plan with wisdom and live with intention and lead with peace. I pray that's what this Friday gave you. Not perfection, but freedom and focus. And the kind of peace that lets you know you can start next week already ahead. Okay, you've done it. After this, finish up your plan sheets. You don't have to do it perfectly. Perfect-ish is enough. Okay, my wonderful friends, thank you for being on with me today. I want to say I will stick around. I'm going to start looking in the chat here. If I missed a question, or if you asked me a question earlier and I did not answer them, I want to go ahead and answer them now. So would you do me the favor of writing them again? And if I missed some, I will go back and write them later. So God bless you. I hope some of you are ready for the perfect-ish method. I can't wait to see you join me for that. We are going to do so much good work together. Okay, so if you had registered for this event, you will get an email with the replay and the links to the perfect-ish workshop. So you don't have to worry about finding that. Okay, questions? And thank you so much for all the love. Thank you for the love. It is truly an honor. Truly an honor. All right. So delegation tips. I see a question on that. I would suggest you go to the podcast and you can just go to your, wherever you find your podcast, Spotify, Apple, there's links in my bio. And if you'll search for perfect-ish and delegation, you're going to find a whole episode on that. If you want a deep dive, let me suggest that you join the Perfect Method because we have a whole stage on just delegation. All right. If you want to share this with friends, just send them the RSVP link and they will get on that and then they will get an email with the recap. So if you want to share that, that would be awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you put appointments on the brain drain or just to-dos? You know what? Either way, if you like to go ahead and put your appointments in your weekly plan first, you can totally do that. Then brain drain anything else and fill it in. So it's really up to you. Some people use it to literally write down everything, then take that and put that on their calendar, or you could do it in reverse, either way. Do you color code? I do color code it. And one of the reasons I do that is later on in stage 1 of the method, we actually do something with the colors. So I do color code. They don't really have to make a lot of sense, but in my mind, I like my free time to look green, like it's, I don't know why, it's just happy. So I do color code my weekly plan. And you can do that however you look. I have so many weekly plans that have my kids scribbling and coloring on them as well. Love the quadrants. Thank you so much. Let me know any other questions that you guys have. Green for go. That is right. All right. Any other questions? I will stick on for a few more minutes if you're typing. If you have questions about the brain drain or the weekly plan, if you have questions about the perfect-ish method, pop those in here too. I have loved today. Wow. What a time. Thank you guys for sharing with me. 24/7 with your job. Yes. That is definitely something that I would suggest if you're considering. I would really suggest that you do join the perfectish method because especially at the very beginning, we're going to talk about several of those topics and we can customize for that as well. Do I save my brain drains from week to week? You know, that's a great question. I save my weekly plans partly because I just do. But a lot of times I'll also do my brain drain digitally first, just so that I can get it out and I don't have a lot of paper. And then I'll put it on an actual weekly plan sheet. So sometimes I'll save them, but a lot of times I don't. Oh, good. The calming music. This is a dress. I got it at a boutique. I'm either a boutique or Amazon. But yeah, it is a dress because I felt like it was a party dress as well. An example of a weekly plan sheet for an entrepreneur. Ooh, yeah. You're definitely going to want to do a weekly plan sheet every week because it changes. Every week is different, right? I'm an entrepreneur. And so this is actually my weekly plan sheet back from November 17th. I just pulled one out just to show you guys. It's going to look different. That is why it's so important that you first put the biggest priority things in, and then you start to fill in everything else. That's really mission critical. It's also mission critical that you prioritize the things that are most valuable in your work. Because sometimes we can do the busy work, Sally, instead of doing the things that are easy. So that's really an important part for an entrepreneur is that we look at those things and we prioritize it. That's actually something else that we cover, I think, in stage 4 of the perfectish method as well. So this is good. Keep the questions. I could sit here all day. We can edit all this out later. Okay. Anybody else? I see there's still a bunch of you on. If you switch to digital, what tool is best? That is a great question as well. Let me come back to your comment and I'll put a few things too, because you do want to put it into a program where you can use your, you can write on it. So GoodNotes is one of those. I can give you a few suggestions and pop this. Yes, you can share this link with your sister-in-law. I would love that. You can either share the RSVP link, which means that she'll get all of the emails after this, or you could just share this YouTube either way as well. Please keep sharing it. I didn't look at our numbers before we got here, but I think we were right about at 1,000 RSVPs, which was so great. Thank you, Ashley. Please share. All right. Any other questions about the brain drain or weekly plan or the perfect-ish method? Let me know, friends. I would love to answer that. I'll give it maybe just 2 more minutes. We're at our Q&A, and if you missed some of the first part, I would suggest go back and watch the beginning from the beginning so you understand really the mentality of this as well. All right. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for also understanding that I am a one-woman show over here. Well, me and God. And so if I have missed any of your comments or questions, absolutely. Oh, yes. Thank you, Patty. Let me go back to this. This starts on May 14th. It starts on May 14th at 11 a.m. Now, we'll be going every other week, except for there's 1 week that there's 2 weeks. It's kind of around July 4th. So we'll go every other week. And just keep in mind, you will get the replay. So if that's just not a time that works for you, or it is over the summer and you're on vacation, or you're just the kind that you really want to self-pace it, you can do that on your own. But every other week starting May 14th is when the live trainings begin. Thanks for asking that. Okay. Anybody else have a question for me? I'll pull up the QR code one more time. And if you do start within 48 hours, you do get the bonuses, which is fabulous, of course. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for being on today. God bless you. I'll make this a little bit bigger in case anybody needs to scan it. Or you can take a screenshot of this and then you can save it, and then you can scan it right from there. Or you can check your email that you're going to get, or I'll put it in the chat one more time. All right. I know how. Oh, yes. Thank you, Carolyn. They're going to go 1 hour. Yes, ma'am. 1 hour session. So probably about 45 minutes worth of content, and then a little bit of Q&A, because you guys are going to be the ones that are going to help this course and this method go really well. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not sure, Kim. I wasn't paying attention for how many people, but I will see if we hit our 1,000 RSVPs. I know we were super close. Okay, friends, if you have any other questions, absolutely DM me, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer anything for you. And I hope that many of you are going to join me for the perfect-ish method. I'm so excited about doing this, and I just want everybody to experience this transformation. All right. God bless. Have a great Friday. Bye, everyone.